Okay, good morning guys. Back on the job. Yesterday, as you know, we left off. We got the flooring supports put in for our at grade, at floor level shower. And today I want to do the rough-in plumbing here, which means I want to get the drain positioned and set, and get the panel put on top of that, get the drain set up on top of there. And also I'd like to rough in this plumbing here. And remember, this is going to be an inch, and then we have to remember that there's going to be an 1.5 inch subfloor, 2 layers of 3/4 inch plywood going over there. So we have to remember to set the height of that above. So probably we'll be able to get to that today too. And a few tricks of the trade on setting that. And we'll also try to, maybe if we got time, reconstruct the vent stack behind here and get the new waste stack for the sink put in, probably in this slot right here. And hopefully we'll have room to run the piping up for the cold water. The hot water can probably use. We may even use the existing come up and just drill through the stud and go over for the PEX tubing. It'll be protected behind the studs there. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to get down there and get going. The first thing I want to do is test this, test some of the fittings I have and check them out. Okay guys, this is called a Fernco coupling, and it's made of rubber, and it's waste grade, which means it's suitable to use for sewer lines and things like that. And what this effectively does is give me a chance to make some new plumbing to the old cast here that you see here. Now if I was to remove this section of pipe that you see right here, I'd have to heat this joint up like crazy and sweat the lead that's inside of that, what they call sweat the lead, and get that good and hot, and then start tapping it to move it out of there. Good chance I'd break that this connection right here, and I'd be in a world of hurt at that point, because I'd probably have to cut and replace the whole stack with PVC. But when I use this Fernco coupling, what I do, you'll see it has 2 adjustable Murray clamps, the hose clamps on either end, and I can loosen them up and just sort of rough fit the fitting on here. And what I can do also is I can move that back and forth, because I cut enough of the fitting off here. I have the ability to move that in and out to shift that coupler in or out, so we get the proper 12-inch. We need to have 12-inch from finished wall here, so we have to allow a 1/2 inch for wall board or tile over here behind here. So. Alright, I'm going to temporarily just cap that up. That explains what the Fernco coupling is. It smells like hell, so you always want to cap that up there when you're
I just took it down from
yeah, so, yeah, okay. Alright, so that's the Fernco coupling. I'm going to go ahead and rough fit the rest of the part. Alright, my able assistant, we're on the job again. Good morning, Missy. Good morning, everyone. And we got our first glued up joint here. And remember, when you're setting the things like the toilet, you have to remember you got to be 12 inches from the finish wall, and you can see right on there, allowing for the wall finish. We're right on the money right there, and she's going to be great. So this joint is glued. We're going to tighten this down to I think the spec on these things is, I think you tighten these, yeah, 60 foot-pounds of torque. We want to make sure that that's really tight there, and we've got a good angle. We're not going to have any problem with waste. I did I actually went ahead and I bought 2 of the flanges, the toilet flanges, because I had a feeling I might need a 45 degree, and the one that I have in here, if I can take a minute to pull that out. Pardon the camera there, guys. Yeah, if I pull that out and you look at that, you can see that that has the 45 degree offset, which makes that perfect. So what we're going to do is go ahead and tighten that down. I don't have a torque wrench. I'm not going to spend 40 bucks to buy one, but we'll get that baby. Yeah, weekend feelings. Whoa, 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 feel the feelings. See, you get singing today too. So Then what we're going to do, we're not going to glue that into final position until we put the plywood top on today, and then we'll set that there. We're going to put 2 levels of plywood here, right? Because that's going to perfectly make up. We're going to cut off this leading edge here, and that's going to perfectly make up to the to our existing subfloor, and be really super cool. So we're going to go ahead and tighten that, and then we'll move on. We'll stuff that up and cover that so we don't get too much stink out of there. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on the shower and get that positioned, that drain. All right, I got the boss here supervising. That means I can't be dicking off in here today, right? That's right. So what I've done is we got the, as you know, we got the toilet flange pretty well set there. That thing on top, we're not going to shower over the toilet too, so don't worry. I just have that temporarily sitting in there. We're working on the shower hookup now, and you know, I was down at the store, and it was really hard making some of the connections here and adapts with old and new. But what I decided to do was to use the old P-trap here. And that's going to work on real good over here. And then we'll set that. We have our shower up there, and we'll test the drain. You know, we're not going to seal anything up until we make sure we're draining good. We'll get it at about the grade that it's going to be on a finished grade up here, and then we'll pour some water down and make sure she's tinkling down there real good. So, okay, we're going to finish doing this connection. We're making good progress today. Looks like a plumbing supply house here, doesn't it? With all this crapola. Been a little shopping. I'm the kind of person, when I go out and I'm going to do plumbing, I buy every fitting I can think of, and then when it's all done, I just take the whole shooting match back and get all the store credit back for it. Smart way to do it. So we got that drain pretty well set there, so we're going to run the flooring over top. Might do a little more final tweaking and adjustment, but of course we're going to have the floor level's going to be here, and then there's going to be buildup of mortar and everything else here, so we have to be you know, we don't want to be thinking that this is the final you know, the height's going to be adjustable. The important thing today is we have that rough set. We're going to throw a little cap on the end of that now and block off the stink a little bit, and then go ahead and cut the hole out, and on top we're going to start closing in some of these boxes, yay, and moving forward today, and then establishing what the final line is going to be for the inside wall of the shower. Just make you very happy. So yeah, it takes some time, but we got to make sure that we got stuff done the right way on this stuff. So okay, all right, everybody in agreement now. So all right, gonna roll on and do some figuring now for some of the cuts. All right, guys, I'm down under the house again because in the last exciting episode, the last little installment here, I forgot to tell you, we also have to hook up the vent. Reposition the vent and drain stack for the sink. So I'm under here. You remember last time I stubbed that off, the old vent. So I'm gonna put a 90-degree, one of our friends, the old Fernco coupling. I'm gonna tighten that up on there, and then you can see up here I've already drilled a hole up top side where we're gonna position. So it'll be another 90-degree going up there, and there's really no issue with the venting. This is good wide 1.5 inch material. What I didn't want to do was cut this pipe and then put a T in and have to go through you know, cap this thing off and do that. This is a lot easier for me, because if I have to support this pipe, looks like it's about a 25 to 30 foot run. You know, I've got to put straps on and all that stuff. It's just not worth it to me to do that. It's easier just to throw a couple Fernco couplings on and get that done. So my assistant is up top side, so I'm going to go ahead and put the Fernco coupling on. Alright, so what I did down here is I pre-assembled this sanitary T, not the T, but the vent stack. This is going to go up into the bathroom, and this is going to connect, hopefully, right here to that Fernco coupling. So we will see you guys in a minute. See if I can put this down here. I don't know if how well you'll be able to see that. Maybe, maybe not. It might be edited out. But the first thing I'm going to do, send that up top side. Hope a lot of shit doesn't fall on me. Is that coming up?
Yeah.
What's it holding up on? There we go. Alright, so that's through. And now, did we cut this too long? 7.5?
7.5.
Wow, what the hell was I thinking? I need like, I gotta remeasure that. You can just drop down the hacksaw. I'll just cut it down here. Must have been in a drunken
I'll tell you guys,
stupor.
I can't wait till the on the ground crap is done. You can see that coupling has been made, so now we have full continuous drainage without having to go be all invasive with the huge pipe. Don't mind these spiders. Spiders are my friends now. You know, I'm so used to, I have pet names for them all. Some of these ones as big as Volkswagen bugs down here hanging out. So, all right, the next thing we want to do is just tighten up these connectors real good and get out of here. And basically our rough plumbing, we'll set that T up there and do the upper vent, and we will be good to go on this part of the job. We're all done the below deck work, so now it's a question of coming up. Just we're going to notch out over here on this stud, and we're going to extend this over, and we have one more Fernco 90-degree elbow there. We're going to pop in there, and we will be good to go. Going to put a sanitary T on there. I'm going to kind of just rough that in right now, just stick it on top, and you know, we'll finish making the rough connection. But then all the plumbing prep and everything will basically be done. The toilet having been set, the plumbing there, and the don't worry, that thing's not going to be that high. I just have a random piece of pipe just sticking in there right now, but we'll get that work out. Obviously there's going to be some mortar buildup in the shower and all that, so we just have to adjust that later. So let me go ahead and just finish this. Girls on a holiday Sunday, huh? You're still smiling. You got that splinter in you from yesterday, huh?
Yeah,
Thing hurts like a mofo. So, well, you got the Purple Heart today from plumbing activities. Anyway, I'm happy to say we're pretty much done the rough-in drainage system here. We've got our for the sink over here, and we've got our ventage all now connected. Everything is all blocked now. You can't smell anything. We've got the vent hooked up from below. We've got that capped off temporarily there, and everything will be all good to go. The toilet, the setting is beautiful for that. And then the shower, we can fiddle with that later about what the height's going to be, and you know, it's going to be awesome. Whatever that is, we'll get that configured. But I'm going to take a break now, and then I'm going to try cutting a few panels here and doing a few inserts. Over on this side, we're not going. There's going to be a you know, the what do we call it? The plywood is going to go over top. 2 layers, 3/4 inch. So we got no issue over here, except just cutting out 7-inch circles for the mounting the flange for the toilet, and then just cutting and dropping in the boxes and gluing them over here. I'm going to leave one access plate over here because, well, you know me. You know, I drop stuff down, butterfingers and all that stuff. I'm already seeing a flashlight, glasses, everything down there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clear away the plumbing stuff. I'm going to take a break and then come back in and cut a few panels and do a few inserts today, okay? Alright guys, I am cooked. I've got Missy Jen starting to work her way over here to start doing a little vacuuming and cleanup today, and you can see capping it off today. I've cut the pieces for the shower floor, and as advertised, they are now secured below. They're resting on the 2x4s that have been cleated into the side of the 2x6 rafters down there, and we have really an ultra strong support structure now. Once this is all screwed in place, it'll be a very powerful structure for holding the mortar bed and the hundreds of pounds that we'll be you know, using it, you know, when we're in there using it, plus the mortar and all the finished tile and all that.
you're talking about a lot of weight to be carried, but of course most of the weight's carried. We have these tremendous stringers that are resting on the concrete foundation side over there, and you know, we have great lateral support here, and I've gone in and cleared out all the rot and everything. It's been a tremendous weekend for getting stuff done, and the rough-in plumbing is basically done with the sink, the toilet, and the you know, I don't have the right height on the shower yet. Probably end up just booting that with the Fernco to get that good, but I could not be happier with the way that things have turned out. We haven't had any screw ups or anything. I'll be gluing the perimeter and then using screws to hold down these boards, and then of course we're going to be laying our half a stud wall here. It'll protect, give some protection behind the shower, and it'll separate the shower from the toilet, and that'll be tremendous. This worked out really well. It'll be 12 inches out from the finished wall, which is exactly what you want. And it'll also be 15 inches free on each side to the finished walls. You know, we're done, which is exactly to code. So I could not be happier with the way that things turned out. But yeah, it was a hell of a lot of work this weekend, but you know, we don't have to do much more down below. Once it's time to set the shower drain in place, I'll have to go down again to hook up a Fernco coupling, but big deal, you know. I can, you know, I'm so used to laying on the ground these days, it hardly even matters down there, so it'll all be good. I'm not going to close up that the last ones here until we get that done, and then we're going to be overlaying with 2 3/4 inch sheets of plywood towards where our stud wall is going to be, and then the rest is going to be a build out and a transition to the shower stall, which will be slightly lower, not tremendously lower, because remember we have to build a sloping mortar bed so that the drainage goes down towards the drain from all sides. But all in all, a super productive weekend, capped off by the end of the rough-in plumbing. And I think Jen's happy too, because she doesn't have to clean up a lot of the crap anymore of me sawing and doing all that stuff down there. So thanks for being along this weekend. Stay tuned. We're just barely scratching the surface on this project. We got miles to go. Thanks, guys.